Hi there! Welcome back to Writer's World Radio, episode 53. I shall be your freelance host, Matthew Graken. So, we're still in February, still Black History Month. I want to do a author that I touched on last episode, my list for Black History Month of books that should be read. It was my number 2 book, actually. And it's just such an interesting story. I wanted to keep going on to it a little more. I couldn't cover it last time because it would have been taking up too much time and wouldn't have been fair to the other ones. So I want to touch on Alex Haley. So, what about Alex Haley? He was born Alexander Murray Palmer Haley, August 11th, 1921 in Ithaca, New York. While still quite young, his mother primarily raised him, mother and grandmother, down in Tennessee for the first 5 years of his life, because his father, Simon, was pursuing his agricultural degree up at Cornell University. So his mother, who was a teacher, moved down to Tennessee, his mother, Bertha, to live with her mother, where she was teaching. First 5 years of his life, he was down there with just the two of them. And once his father found success and graduated, got his graduate degree, he moved down to Tennessee with them and taught in several prominent southern universities. Now, despite having to face such racism and obstacles, his father actually found quite a lot of success and strived to provide a better life for his children than the one that he had growing up. He was a World War I veteran, and obviously back at that time, for an African American to be going to university was quite the ordeal, and then becoming a teacher was even more the ordeal. This was a standout moment for Alex. He was very proud of his father and his accomplishments. So let's fast forward. World War II is going on. Alex enlists into the Coast Guard. And he spent 20 years actually in the Coast Guard. After World War II, he actually asked for and was granted permission to shift his field to journalism. And he did this for quite some time. He retired from the Coast Guard in 1959. At that point, he tried to become a freelance writer. Alex actually could be quoted remembering spending 16-hour work days working, trying to get ends to meet together for about $2,000 a year. He was living on canned foods and just not a great life. But in 1962, he had his big break. Playboy magazine. Hey, remember, it's all about the articles in Playboy. So in Playboy magazine, they assigned him to interview the prominent trumpeter Miles Davis. And the article was such a success that they created a whole series called the Playboy Interviews, where Alex would interview prominent African Americans such as Martin Luther King Jr., Sammy Davis Jr., Quincy Jones, and Malcolm X. Now, why was the one Malcolm X so important? Because during this interview, Alex was so drawn to the information that he was getting from Malcolm that he asked X if he could do an autobiography. He was granted that wish, and in 2 years later, the book of Malcolm X's life was published. 1965, the autobiography of Malcolm X was published and became a bestseller. It was a big turning point in Alex's life and career. Now, he could have stayed as a freelance writer and gone on to write he was getting job offers left and right, but he decided no. He had something bigger in mind. Something so big that it would take well over 10 years to come to fruition. He left the freelance business and went to trace and retell the story of his family. From their time from Africa to America. As slaves to the rise of their freedom. This, like I said, took about 10 years. Not completely, it was somewhat fictionalized. But he did, the amount of research that he did. Like I said, 10 years of research is a lot of research. He not only went through books here, he went to West Africa, he went to England, and went through slave ship records, and just enormous amounts of research to get all the fine details correct. The book was published finally in 1976. Again, we all know what happened from there. The rest was history. In 1977 became a miniseries, one of the most viewed television programs of all times. Until recently, that record was untouched. Then, more recently, February 10th. So not that long ago at this time of the month, depending on when you're watching this video. But again, being it's February, Black History Month. But coincidentally, February 10th, 1992, Alex passed away, sadly, of a heart attack. And there you have it. So, are you familiar with Alex Haley's work? Have you read Roots, or are you just familiar with the miniseries? Let me know. Is there any other authors of Black History Month that you particularly favor? Please leave them in the comments below. Shout them out on the Twitter, at Matthew J. Graykin. Or Facebook, facebook.com/Matthew J. Graykin. Both of those use the hashtag Writers World Radio to keep it all connected and easier to find. If you're not big into the social media, use the email. Email us at writersworldradio@yahoo.com. I hope everyone's doing well out there. Thank you for taking your time and watching these videos. Make sure you're sharing, you're liking, you're subscribing to the cast or the podcast if you're just doing the audio, which is fantastic as well. Yeah, a lot of love on the podcast. But again, make sure that you're rating, sharing, and subscribing. Tell people about the shows. If you have any ideas for shows, please contact us. And I hope you're also getting your 10 minutes of writing in a day. Just remember, those 10 minutes will add up quickly. You will get a lot more done in a little time than you will in no time. The story's within you. It's in your heart. It's within your mind. You can write it. Your story is your story. It's no one else's story. No one else can write it for you. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Take those few minutes a day. Get started. It all starts with one word. Get it done. You can do it. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. I hope everyone's doing well. And I'll see you next time.